Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today is my No Buy Art Supply 6-month in review, and I'm going to be doodling with a micron to finish this illustration while I chat because I'm running out of time. Watching paint dry is taking longer than anticipated. So I wanted to talk about a couple things that are happening. Two things are happening now that we are 6 months in. Make sure this is all on camera here. And I want to talk about whether I'm done with my no buy art supply or not. And the answer to that is very simply no. I think if art supplies weren't the most prevalent thing that I purchase, or something that I buy maybe number second on my purchase list, I think I would be done after 6 months. But this is literally the number one thing. And I buy art supplies twice as much as I buy books, which would be my number two, and way more than twice as much as I buy plants. And by plants, I mean house plants and like garden seeds and stuff like that. So no, I'm not done. It would be nice if I was, but I'm not. So yeah. I want to congratulate you and applaud you. When you watch my videos, you are supporting me. You're supporting me in my no-buy journey, and I want you to know that I'm supporting you. If you are still having a really hard time, maybe there's something very specific that's tempting you, you are more than welcome to direct message me on Instagram or Twitter, or you can send me an email, pencilandpigment@gmail.com, and we can just kind of talk it out together. I want you to know that I'm here for you in your journey. I'm not just making videos to chat at my camera. So the two things that are happening are kind of interesting, and one I kind of started to touch on a little bit in the last no buy video when I was talking about tape that I already owned. And that is that my no buy is starting to bleed into other parts and purchases of my life. Now, I went into this no buy art supply with only one expectation, and that expectation was to buy no supplies. It wasn't anything else. I didn't assume anything. I didn't guess anything. I wasn't that deep. I wasn't feeling my feelings and getting introspective about it. And maybe that's for the better. I'm okay with these sort of pop-up surprises. So I have noticed now that when I am doing other projects and other things, again, we homeschool our 3 kids, and we do a very hands-on history, and we do some very hands-on science experiments and things. If we don't have the supplies, I no longer put things off and try to add things to like grocery store lists or Costco lists or something, or go to my Amazon on my phone and try and add items to the cart right away. We just try and use what we have and substitute way more than we were. And it's 100% because of the no buy. Because I'm substituting things and I'm just not in the buying frame of mind, I'm just like, well, let's see what else we can use instead. And I have to say that with all the different science experiments and sort of hands-on history things we've been doing, everything's been a complete success with the substitutes. So it hasn't affected anything negatively, and that makes me so happy because we can do everything right away, and everything just, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome, and I'm super, super happy about it. And it's sort of problem solving and extra things for the kids, and it's really cool for them to see how resourceful and creative we can get with the stuff we already own. And that's just such an added bonus that I didn't see coming, that I had to share that with you because I thought that was the neatest thing. And the second thing that has started to happen that I wanted to talk about was that in the beginning, January was fine. I think the first month you start any like real challenge or resolution, the first month is always fine. But the second month was not okay, and I think it was just because I was using a bunch of art supplies that I didn't care for, and that made it more difficult. But I actively had to talk myself out of purchasing things. Like, I would just say no. And then part of me would go, oh my God, you can afford to buy it, just buy it. And the other part's like, no, you promised you wouldn't buy anything. So in my mind, I was actively talking myself out of purchases, which sounds absolutely wild now that I'm looking back on it, because what's happening now is I like talk myself out of wanting things. So no longer do I think about buying anything. I'm now looking at stuff going, do I want that? But really, do I really want that? I mean, let's look at my realization here. Can I watercolor in that? Is that really that cool? Is that great of a price? I get that it's limited edition. They have scarcity mentality applied to that item. Do I really want that? And most of the things I've looked at now, I've already listed sort of my needs. Like, I know actively what I actually need. Let's just be for real about it. So everything else is kind of just a want. And I have enough supplies where I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, you know, there could be somebody that actually needs this. Maybe they're just starting out on their art journey and they don't own a lot of stuff. And this could be something that's really, really cool for them. And do the wants, in my mind, come before the needs of them? And that's kind of how I've been looking at it. And I wanted to try and watch a couple haul videos because I hadn't seen any this year at all. And I was like, well, let's see if this is tempting me, if I want anything, if I feel I need something. And I didn't feel anything. Like, I was happy for them that they got the stuff that they wanted or the stuff they needed. And it was of no interest to me. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. And that's really, really strange. So when I'm writing down the things for the month for my monthly check-in, and I'm like, do I need this? Do I want this? What's my mood? I'm having a lot of trouble finding things that I want, because I'm just like, I don't really want it that bad. I don't want anything that bad. It's mostly just a dryer for my paints. You know, like that's the one thing I need. And everything else sort of compared to that just doesn't, it doesn't feel important, and it doesn't feel like it's something I need at all. And so I'm having trouble finding things that I want. Isn't that just the wildest thing now that we're here in this journey, you know, 6 months in? I didn't expect anything like this to happen. I wasn't expecting anything. So I think this is kind of cool. I'm really curious if you have been doing a no-buy for 6 months, and have you come up with any realizations or interesting things that have happened to you? Has it started to bleed into other areas of your life? Are you doing a low buy? Are you doing something where you're starting right now and doing the last 6 months of the year? I mean, there's one right there at the bottom. If you celebrate Christmas, how are you doing Christmas and a no-buy art supply? I'd be curious to see how you are planning to navigate that. I'm still currently working on what I think a decent budget will be once I start purchasing again, and how many times a year I'm going to be purchasing. And I think I'm starting to figure it out. I think I'll talk about these things in November and December. I will have an in-depth video the 17th of this month, and I will have my check-in on the 31st, and we can just chat about stuff. So I hope you're absolutely having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.